two of us are searching for the same thing. We're both obsessed with it. Maybe it's because it's so complex. When you find something new, it's very special. But that's only half of it. It's not always about the discovery. It's the chasing, it's the company, it is the whole experience.
Iceland's the hardest place to score I've ever been to. You can't look at a forecast and fly there and get good waves. By the time you get off the plane, the forecast will be completely different.
When it's really cold, I was thinking about why I'm coming to this trip.
You can spend days upon days looking around every corner, hoping that there'll be swell or the wind will be right.
It's so hard to call a strike mission. If all the forecasts are saying the same thing, it's still like 50-50 if it's gonna stick.
For me as a photographer and who's making the call on this whole thing, you're just like, oh my God, have I just called these guys over here and they're just gonna get nothing?
When we saw pumping waves for the first time after 2 days in the car, we couldn't control ourselves, we were just screaming.
I think surfing in Iceland is just badass. You gotta be totally insane and just absolutely in love with surfing to do it. Elli and Heidar, they're wild men. They just want to find the craziest waves in Iceland and be the first ones to surf them.
The main reason that we're here in Iceland today is because of those two.
As a kid, you take it for granted. When you grow up here, you have so much freedom. There are not many places in the world where you can be in a city and within a few hours be in an area and you won't see a trace of human existence. You won't see another person, you won't see a fence, you won't see a power line. It's just you and untouched nature. My name is Elli Thor. I live in Iceland and I'm a surfer and a photographer. My parents were members of the rescue team here for 30 years and they loved the outdoors. It was always a major part of our family. But surfing was never on anyone's radar here in Iceland. At the time, it was just not something that was done here. First people surfing here in Iceland were soldiers from the US Navy base in Keflavik. My friend Ingo and I, we got wind of it and really wanted to do it. We got boards and started. Then in '97, we saw an article in Surfer magazine with Wingnut and Donovan Frankenreiter. So there was this one wave in the article. It was this Moroccan-looking point. My mind was blown. That's when we started searching for waves all over the country because we wanted to find them and not some visiting pro surfers.
My name is Heidar Logi. I'm from Iceland and I'm a professional surfer. Growing up surfing in Iceland definitely wasn't easy. There's no surf shops, there's no reliable surf forecasts. There's nothing surf related in Iceland except the surfers. When I started surfing, I didn't have any money or driver license to go traveling. I pretty much owe my lifestyle to the group of friends that paid for my expenses and took me surfing when I was a teenager. My friends were pushing me to try and become pro. One of the things I needed to do was work with a photographer. And around that time, I met Elli.
Heidar was the first one to start surfing pretty young, and I always knew about him. He was just like the little Grom. I would see him at the local surf spots. I had been photographing with some pro surfers and going on trips, but in between, I had no one to travel with and photograph. Heidar was getting to another level in his surfing, and he advanced faster than everybody else in Iceland. Heidar and I were the only ones chasing every single swell, and it was just logical that we would start working together. We ended up traveling to all these beautiful places all over the country. It was natural to want to document it. That's when everything started.
Elli's ambition for surf photography is just amazing. But his photography is so much more than surfing. It shows you what Icelanders experience on a regular basis. When I realized that me and Elli could travel together and work together, everything just became clear to me. Instead of just being a surfer, I became more of an explorer. I just started seeing the adventure side of it.
I could shoot and have someone who would drop everything, drive for 10 hours, surf one spot, and then drive another 8 hours to surf another one, and then drive back to town. And it was just a mutual obsession to search for waves in Iceland and find new spots.
Heidar's really impressive as a surfer coming from Iceland because he surfs alone and he surfs heavy waves. The reason I wanted to come here was because Elli and Heidar, they're wild men. They want to blow people's minds with the stuff they're gonna do here.
Noah is the funnest surfer to watch. He's got so much energy and so much power in his surfing.
Heidar as a surfer is really impressive to me. It is not easy to grow up surfing in cold water. You gotta really want it. Elli's surf photography is incredible. He captures Iceland like no one else can.
It looks so inviting and fun.
We got some fun waves and Elli got some good shots. That's real shit. The lenses has like snow all over it. There's some sick shots in here. The last day we got was this really nice left point. Beautiful wave with just huge mountains all over the backdrop. It was pretty special. Elli always seems to capture the perfect moment.
Having a pro like Noah visit is always a good time. And when you get good shots, it's a bonus. But the reality of surfing here is not that simple.
It's definitely not the easiest place to score good waves. You have to put in hours of driving and sitting around and doing nothing. It's a bit of a emotional roller coasters. You know, the highs can be highs, but the lows can be low.
This is the environment we grew up in, and this is the environment that we love. We've had people come over for a visit. Some people love it and some people don't. It's not that easy being cold.
My name is Conor Maguire, and I'm a surfer from Bundoran in Ireland. Iceland is probably one of the most beautiful and dramatic countries you've ever been to.
My name's Bierke. I live in Ulladulla on the south coast of New South Wales, and I'm a big wave surfer. Iceland is definitely the coldest place I've been. The landscape here just feels like you're on the moon. Iced over volcanic rocks and huge fjords.
The weather is probably some of the most extreme and volatile weather on the planet. Being so far north, you're never 100% certain what it's going to do.
I'm Natxo Gonzalez from the Basque Country, northern Spain, and I'm a surfer.
It's a pleasure to have these guys over to look at some new waves and look at the potential that can be done here.
I've never had a crew like this before. 3 big wave guys. I feel like this is the ultimate crew that I want to travel with.
Spent days driving, jumping out, checking spots, but nothing really happening. So disappointing. This swell, you could see it in the forecast. It looked good on paper, but that wave is fickle. You can have everything perfect and then drive up there and it's just weird. When we first showed up, it was like properly pumping. Oh, that one! Everyone did like a full freak out.
That was sick! Yeah!
Fuck, it looks pretty sick.
I just can't get out there fast enough. No time for waxing.
Shit, man. Finally. The only thing I could think of was like, yes. Didn't make a call for nothing. So fucking good.
Oh man, how good was that? Super fun.
It was amazing, dream day. I didn't expect we're gonna get these kind of waves in Iceland. It was such a good day.
Oh. So sick with the crazy wind.
Feels good to be hypothermic again.
It's so much better being cold in the ocean than being warm in the car. Oh my God, I was going mental.
To actually roll up and just see perfect barreling spinning rides. To have a session with just 4 of us out trading barrel after barrel is super special. Anywhere in the world, you'd be stoked with that.
When it all comes together, it's pretty special because you put in so much work.
When you really score, it's more worth it than other places.
When you finally get those perfect waves, you get that huge sense of accomplishment, and that's what you're after.
You don't get perfect waves here that often. You do a lot of chasing. But when you get it, it's much more special. For me though, it's not just about the perfect waves. It's the adventure, it's the ups and downs, it's the driving, it's the company, it's the whole experience. And that's what I love about surfing here. It's almost like a different sport.